And welcome back to Career Build Series, episode number 54. And so I decided to make a little car here just as a fun build. So something that we can get around in, kind of based off Cadillac Coupe de Ville convertible. And so kind of just working on this, trying to get it right. I'd like to sit a little lower. It's currently sitting up high, but do some work on this. So we're starting to get to the point where I need to do some work on getting it actually functionally working. So I just did some body work, kind of play with some shapes, got that going. Got the dimensions where I want them, and kind of working on where to go from here. So let's see. I'd like to lower it down at some point, but let's see. Might have to XML in some blocks to get this to sit lower how I want it, but we'll play with that as I can. So let me see. I might raise these wheels up here. You know, I want it to sit like a car. It's going to have to stay on the road because of those issues, but let's put that there for now. Let's reduce the tire radius, try to see where we're at here. You know, we do have to worry about hitting the ground, but I do like kind of the low slung look of these Cadillacs, so you know, I'd like to get that low look in there. So I probably end up having to change a bunch of stuff here to get that to work, but it's not a big deal. I just have to work with the fenders. I can XML some blocks in the fenders to get them a little bit tighter. So it's not too big of a deal, but just started playing with this, kind of making a shape. So this will be kind of a little drive around fun vehicle. You know, so that's looking more Cadillac now. Again, it's inspired by Cadillac. It's not a replica by any stretch of the imagination. So I kind of have to go in here, and I might be able to fill this reasonably here. Let's try something here. If I could do it without XML editing blocks, that would be ideal. See how tight I can get on this. Editing, you know, XML editing the blocks just allows me to get it in there a little bit tighter. Let's see, is that going to ruin the lines if I put that in? Probably will. Trying to think, leave it like that for now. I'll just rework these fenders a little bit. They're kind of the main issue at the moment. So, suicide doors in the back. Alright, so that's not too bad. Let's see how it sits. The suspension's going to push it up a little bit if I set the suspension up right, so might just do it at hard axles. Tend to do that. They were on 40s, let's go to 100s and see how it sits, and I can tune it from there. Something's up with the back. I didn't merge them, that's why. I didn't merge them, that's why they're misbehaving, so we'll see where that, once I get that going. That makes perfect sense, so let's see. Now let's merge these axles up. I'm going to end up, you know, plumbing these up once I start working on the engine. That's pretty good. Maybe a little bit bigger on the tires to fill out the wheel wells, especially seeing that now they are sprung a little bit better. So let's go 1.5s and see how these look. And we can probably drop them down just a hair. That's looking pretty good. Let me go full 2s on these and see how they look in the wheel wells. Might drop the... I don't want them hitting the wheel wells when I'm driving. That will just bug me, so... That's looking pretty good. It's filling out nicely. It's a little bit higher than I like, but I'm going to need it a little bit higher just because of the nature of the roads. So, all right, good. So let's start working on the engine bay here. We have engine bay stuff to do. We have transmission stuff to do. We have a bunch of stuff. Okay. Trying to think of how I want to do this. Might staple an engine together. That's kind of that's a thought I'm having. Just to do it as a kind of a parallel. Could do it as a flat. Might do it as a flat. Let's go mod for modular. Stick that there. Let's go ahead. I want a starter. Yeah, I think I'll do a flat. Okay, some alternators. Just do one. I'll do two. Why not? And then I'll put a pump on there too. Either use it or I won't. All right. Let's go ahead and start putting in some crank pieces. Some cylinders. And I need to see where my dash is going to go. Can these seats go further forward? I don't think they can. I think we're already... Yeah, we're at the collision point. Let me just cut them and check. Yep, at the collision point. All right. So dash is going to come in here. Dash in the firewall. And I can't put anything in front of the panels. Trying to think how I want to do this. Let's get rid of that for now. I don't think... I might actually be able to put a gauge in front of this. Right like this here. Let me just try it. Okay. Let's try to get a little shapeliness in here. All right. That's good. Let's go ahead and put a clutch. Do manual transmission because that's what is good. All right, so let's see. Trans is going to have to come down and then back forward. That's fine. Let's see. So that's floor pan. Just do a sideways transmission in here. Probably not going to need that many gears. Again, you need more gears when you have something heavy and you're hauling. We're not hauling anything here, so. Now let's do. I have the space, so I might as well do that many. I'll go to the floor. This will go. Cut you. Let's do a. Put this in for a supercharger. There we go. Yeah, just kind of seeing any issues I'm going to have here and plan ahead. So, all right, let's go to the axles. And then this just makes it a lot, it performs better in game if you have, all-wheel drive. Performs much better. Let's see how this is going here. The seats can come forward one. Okay, and then let's do fours here. I think we can. Nope, threes. Come on, come on. Get where I want you there, guy. There we go. All right, that's good. Let's go back underneath here and then fix this. All right, good. Can I cut both of them? I can. Okay. Let's go like this instead. All right, nice. So there's our tunnel. All right, so rear axle's connected. So that kind of gets us set up there. All right, so that does that. Let's see. Fuel tank. So there's going to be a trunk back here, so I kind of need a little bit of space for some trunk. Might have it open, might not. We'll see. So I'll worry about fuel tank later. I have plenty of space for that. All right, let's start putting some more module engine parts on here. So do an impeller. All right, so what are you? You are, can't read you. Turn in, that's in. That is out, okay. Where you at there, guy? There you are. Okay, that goes there. Let's put fuel on this side. I might do it lower, so let's not do that yet. Let's do an air filter. All right, so that is plumbed in. Where do I want fuel tank? That's kind of an important question. Kind of want a trunk just so that I can put some equipment in there. So let's do that. All right, let's go ahead and we will All right, so there's our trunk. And then we'll have equipment in here, so I'll just start putting it in here. So do a fire X. Get rid of symmetry here. This will let us do some rescues and stuff. I'll do a welding torch. Defib. It's always good to have a lot of first aid, so we'll put in a bunch here. Alright, so that's in. We have defib, welding torch, fire axe. What else do we want in here? We have was it a 2x3 space there? Let's do a second fire extinguisher. And then what else do we want? Do a flashlight. What else do we want here? Don't really need anything else, but I'm gonna put it in there anyways. Binoculars. What else? And hell, we'll do an oxygen mask. Can't think of anything else, so just stick it in there for now. And if I want to change it, I can change it. All right, good. So that's all in there. So that will let me work fuel here. So let me see how I want to do fuel. I want to be able to port it in. So let's go fuel tank here. Let's do one side. Some of the Cadillacs actually had the fuel filler here, which is kind of interesting. Could just do it there. That would be kind of interesting, and they had them like that, so that would actually be kind of neat. They had them behind a badge. I'll see if I can't figure out some way to, put a cover or something on that. Then let's do tanks. Let's see. How long is this? What's that, a 2? And I think we'll do fuel on this side. So if I can ever get the camera straightened out, there we go. And what are you? Okay, that's already done. That's good. Okay. All right, so there's fuel. All right, and so we'll just put a, where you at there, guy? There you are. All right, so we're fueled up. We just need exhaust now. Put a cat on there. All right, and we have exhaust. So that is now set up. So that should have the main components that it needs to run. All right, so we need to start banging together a microcontroller. Let's see, what to do. All right, I need a manifold section to connect the banks. All right, that is in. Nice. All right, good. So that is in. I start working on microcontroller, and I'm gonna see where I have for space here. So I can do all of this floor pan here on either side. So that one's a 3x6 on the other side. So let's keep that in mind. Let's not reinvent the wheel. Let's save this here. All right, let's open up Stormworks Basics. I'm trying to think what I want to run here. The car is pretty much done. Do this one. Copy that. Okay. Okay, why did I do that? Where you at there, guy? All right, so this is here. Go ahead. I need a battery. Stick it on the firewall. I don't need to. All right. Battery. RPS. Starter. Air manifold. Fuel manifold. So this is from the Stormworks Basics tutorial car, the AFR one. Need cooling in there. Okay, so cooling has to go in. That's going to go right on top of the engine. That's fine. Coolant pump. Let's see. Clutch. Alternators. Variable brakes. I have to fix the brakes on that, probably the right wheel in the front. Click brakes on the other one, right? Yeah, brakes. Brakes, okay. This one's just all set up, so that's good. All right, gear, what do we have here? Gear 1. Gear 2. Gear 3. And gear 4. Okay. Port steering. So that actually, I'll just keep it. I don't have to invert it if I do that, so that's fine. Composite is going to be engine composite, and we need seat. That's nice, just all set up mainly. And let me see, what's the footprint of this? I'm going to need to plumb the panel through here, which isn't a big deal. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See, I'm at max this way. That's okay. I can do a pass through. I can take the, I don't have any out. Very interesting. I should be able to fix this up. I need to just put some stuff so I can have information reading out from the panel, but no, it's not a huge deal. Okay. All right, so this should at least get it up and running pretty reliably. I had it the right way the first time. There we go. No, I didn't. Okay, so that should go up into the zabode. One more there, guy. There we go. So that is done. I could go in this back. Well, I can't go in the back wall. It's fine. It's fine where it is. All right. Let's do electrical here and try to get a start out of this. All right. So connect up like systems, all my lights. I have to do RGBs. Those are going to be going in there. So I can read off of panels and daisy chain and do a bunch of stuff. So alternators going direct to the battery. Let's see. I'll connect them all to the battery for now. Might do a key switch here. Let's do a key. Relay. So let's put it right here next to, oh, I didn't put the last fuel tank, so that'll cause it so it doesn't start. Let's put the last fuel tank in here. Let's get the last fuel tank in there. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. Okay, fuel tank's in, relays in. Let's go. All right, so the key is going to turn on this relay, and then we want to go. Gee, I don't want this going direct to the battery. I want the battery going directly to the far side. Do dash stuff there. All my engine components, so starter, gears, those all go to that side. This will go battery side. Actually, I'll direct connect this to the bat. It's fine. This will do the backlights. These doors need to be hot bus so that they'll function at all times. Whoa, flicky camera, yay. Also, the trunk needs to be hot bust. That goes right to where the battery side is. Lights need to be hot bust, so lights need to be hot bust. Lights are hot bust now. All right, I think we might be ready for a start. Let's see. Seats connected, seats connected. So I'm gonna have to hook up something for the. I'm gonna have to go in on the key as well. That's fine for now. I'll just spawn this and we'll see. That, the Stormworks basic seat, it controls a lot of the stuff, so. All right. Let me check sound. All right, so gear ratios, of course, are running at a 1-to-1 now, so those will have to be fixed. That one needs to be hooked up. Okay, let's go. There's AD. AD. I'm gonna have to put a steering controller in here as well, but for now, that's going. Gear ratios, I have to bang together some gear ratios really quick. Let's just do a reduction gear. Let's actually save this here. I'm going to see what I had on the Stormworks Basics car. It's just going to make life so much easier. All right, let's look what I have in this 4-pack here. So where's the first one off the engine, if I can see it? It's, where are you at there? Right here. So it's this one's the first one. So that's 3121, 211. Okay, so I'm going to have to write these down. So just so that they're the same. And I can play with them later and get the gear ratios where I want. So it's a 3, 1, 2, 1. 2, 1, 1, 1. Away towards, okay. 1, 1, 3, 1. And that one is a 1, 1, negative 1. And I'll change these. I have space to really put some more gear ratios in here, but that's just I want to get it started, so I will get better gear ratios. I also have to check how it performs. You know, that's a lot of people are like, what gear should I use? Well, it depends heavily on how much load you put in your engine. How much does your car weigh? How many wheels are you driving? You know, a lot of games are super simplified. This game is not. This game is more realistic. And so you actually have to determine these things to make sure. Oop, one of these is facing the wrong way already. Where are we at here? That is. Oh no, I did the wrong one. Okay, that's fine. So this one is 3-1, 2-1. This one here is 2-1-1-1. This one here is 1-1-1-1. No, nope. 1-1-3-1. And then this one is just the reverser gear. All right. So let's hook those. Those are all hooked up. They're all electrified. Okay, let's give it a quick run. And I can further refine those later. One is brake, so I had the parking brake on. So it's running. Gear ratio definitely needs work, so let's get those going here. So generally, like say a truck, you're gonna be running at like an 8-to-1 to start. A medium-sized truck. A car is probably a 3-to-1's fine. So let's start working that. Let me grab up my graph that confused everybody. All right, this is something I did a video on, but I never put out. Was I made like a little rally truck. So we're gonna do. Let's do like a. This is an 8. This is a 7-speed. Let's just copy this. And let's go ahead and let's see. So I know that's not how you do Cadillac, but I'm gonna make my own brand, so I'm just putting it there for now as that. I'll change it. So I need to get some gear ratios here. So there's a 4-to-1 that works for me. I think that's gonna be low enough. You see how we're struggling to start off? So that's telling me that our gear is too high. You know, if I can get that gear ratio down, that's gonna help. So that gets us to a 4-to-1, 3-to-1, 2-to-1, 1-to-1, 0.5. Let's actually try this set of gears. What do I have? I have 4 gears, so I can't do anything on this one. That's fine. They don't change until up in here. So let's go. And let's see where we're at. So what do we have here? So that is a 4-to-1. That's fine. 3-to-1, 2-to-1, 1-to-1. So I probably want some more granularity in here. And so this 1-to-1's good here. And then I want this one going backwards here. All right, so we don't have 5 gears, we have 4 gears. So let's just get rid of that. That will help. And I need to fix the formulas now. You know what, let's not do that. That's they can stay in there. They just need to be 1-to-1s is the thing. So as long as they're 1-to-1s, they'll break even on that. So that's fine. We'll leave those in. That won't screw up our calculations. So that's looking all right so far. So here, could do it as a 5-speed. I could do it as a 5-speed probably and have it actually work for me. So let's go here. And so where's my reverse gear? So that would be gear, I think it's 3. I'm just going to check really quick here. So I'm going to check which one's facing the other direction. So it's 1, 2, 3 are going one way and the other one's going backwards. Okay. All right, so 1, 2, and 3 are going one way. 4 is going backwards. I'm just gonna put a is carrot going towards the engine. These are all away. Okay, that will just tell me. And this is that's null. All right, good. So that's telling me which way the gear's going. So these are facing away from the engine. giving me more torque. That one's facing towards the engine, giving me more RPS. So let's work these. That's a 4-to-1. 3-to-1's fine there. Probably cut down the number of gearboxes, but I'd like to get more range out of this because let's say I start to struggle and I start to stall and I start to buck. By having this many gears, I can then make smaller granular changes. So here is where I want to fix. So let's get rid of this. Let's leave it. I don't want to screw it up. All right, so this here is a 1-to-1. And so I want to reduce this. So 4 is my, where's 4 is my reduction? Right there, 4 is my reduction right here. So let's try I don't know. Let's do a 3 or 2/3. It's a 0.66 to 1. That's 2/3. Let's try. That's probably better. All right, so what I need is a 3-to-1, 1-to-1, a 2-to-1, 1-to-1, a 1-to-1, 1-to-1. So this 1-to-1, 1-to-1, so gear 3 can be my reverser. Nope. Okay, I need this to be a 2-3. So let's try that as a 2-3. No, I don't need it to be. Yeah, I do kind of. So let's make that. Let's do that, I think. Okay. And so let's try that gear ratio set out and see how that works. All right, so what we need to do now is we need to figure out what's going to be on, what's going to be off. So, and I'm actually going to, where are we at? 5. So it's 1, 2, 3, and then those have 2 on. So I'm actually going to flip it around the other way. So I'm going to make it a, I know I'm making this more challenging, but so there's going to be is going to be a 3, 2, 1. Nope, don't do that. All right, so let's see. So first gearbox is going to be a 1-1, 3-1. Okay. And that's because the 3-1 appears twice and the 1-1 appears 3 times. The gear 2 is going to be 1, 2, and then 3 1s. So that's going to be a 1, 1, 2, 1. Okay, gear 3 is just a reverser, so that's fine. Gear 4 is going to be 1, 1, and 3, 2. Now, of course, could I simplify this with fewer gearboxes? Yes, but by having these extra gearboxes, if I need to change ratios at any time, if the car is doing something I don't like, I can very simply, very easily change it. So that's why I'm doing that. All right, so now that I know which ones are going to be on, which ones are going to be off, I can start to work this and get this set up. So if we read 1, for first gear, I'm looking at my graph on the side, so I need 3-1 to be on. So this is going to be for gearbox 1. So for 1-to-1, I need 3-to-1 on. Let's see, what else do I need 3-to-1 on? I could use... Let me see, do I have any that are more than... let's just do a Boolean. So I'll fill it out when I'll fill it out here. So it's X, and then if we need to, we go to operators. We use these OR here. That will tell us if you forget which one it is. So X, Y, Z, and W, and that's so if it's any of these, it will tick it on. So for first gear, I need this on. And I also need what do I need? I'm trying to find it here. First and second gear, I need that on. So 1 and where is 2? 2 is right here. So 1 and 2 will turn on first gear. Okay, that's good. All right, so next we need to worry about second gear. So the second gearbox in there. So the second gearbox is going to be for 1. And again, I'm just here. I'll bring up this, let's see, bring up the spreadsheet here. Oh, kind of overlay it, and you can see it here. So spreadsheet's in here, as you can see. So it's showing me right there, I need a 3 to 1, I need a 2 to 1. So that's telling me I need for 1 and I need 2. I need those turned on. I just need for the second gear, I just need this one turned on. So 2, I just turn that one on and see if I need to turn anything else on here. And it's probably not. So I'll just put that aside so you know what I'm doing. All right, so let's see. So we have first gear is done. Nope, first gear is not done. That's fine. So gear 1 is done. It's turned on for 1 and 2. Second gear is the 2 to 1 that's turned on for gear 1. It's turned on for gear 3. So 1 and 3 now turn that on. Okay, good. So that's gear 2. All right, next we need to do gear 3. So these are the gearboxes I'm talking about. So gearbox 3 is only turned on for reverse. So gearbox 3 is my reverser, so that can actually come up here and hook directly to -1, and that is done. Okay, good. And let's see where we're at here. So that's 3. So 4 is the next one. Where is the... So do I not have a gearbox 4 on there? I do, right here. Okay. Gearbox 4 is going to be here. So gearbox 4 is turned on for 1. And gearbox 4 is turned on for... is it? I'm trying to look at my... I'm back looking over here, seeing what it is. So gearbox 4 is turned on at 1 and 5. So that's 1, and I need... So this counts up to 5 now. And 5 is gearbox 4. And fourth gear is a 1-to-1 ratio, so fourth gear, it doesn't need to do anything because that's going to run a straight 1-to-1 ratio on that. Okay, so that's set up now, so that should set us up. I believe so. All right, so let's see, seat 3 to 4. So I can also shift up with 3 to 4. Let's go ahead and update that. I was probably confused everybody, but the system works for me. So this is going to be a 1-to-1. 3 to 1. This is going to be a 1-to-1. 2 to 1. This one here is going to be the reverser. That's good. And then this one's that is 1, 1, 3, 1, 2. That's perfect. All right, let's spawn it and check it. And key needs to go on. Brake can come off. All right, and so I need to change the way reverse works here. So let's see, where are we at here? So I have this as an automatic transmission at present. Let's see, single counter on a pulse. I'm going to take off the auto trans for right now and manually shift up with 3 and 4. Might keep this as a manual. I always prefer a manual. I like to control my own vehicle. I like to have it do what I want it to do. I'm a professional. I don't need that automatic nonsense. Nor do I want it, really. So we're in neutral. Alright. And we'll kick it into first. Let's see. Alright, so it's stalling. So what that's telling me is that it is... Let's do this. This should have a flywheel on it. Come to think of it. Ugh, flywheel's going to be ugly to implement. If I put a flywheel on this, it's going to be a nightmare. I just thought of that too, that it should probably have a flywheel on it. That's gross. That is a mess if I... that's a big change. Takes up so much space. Really does. It really is gonna it's gonna move half the stuff if I do that. Let me try to do it without a flywheel. So what we need to do is we need to knock the gear ratios down. So we'll go back to the graph. All right, so what's happening is the gear ratios are not low enough. That's why we're stalling out. So 4-to-1's not low enough. And so that's fine. What I can probably do is this. All right, so what I can do here is gear 3 is my reverser. So that's available and open. So what we can do is by changing gear 3, I can reduce every gear. So what I can do here is, let's say I do a 5 to 6. Now, instead of a 3-to-1, nope, that goes the wrong way, doesn't it? Oh, yeah, because I put it backwards. 6, 5. All right, so now you see that steps the 4-to-1 up to a 4.8. So if I go, what's after 6, 5? 3, 2? It's got to be a 3, 2, I think. 3, 2. That's a 6-to-1 now. All right. So let's try that. Let's do a 3, 2. Okay, you see how it's stepping every gear up now? Because it's acting like it's a stable stationary drive. And what are you? 3, 2 might be too much. We're not bad yet. Okay, let's try this. So let's change gear 3 to a 3-to-2. So that's one of the reasons why I like having open gears like this, is that really makes it easy for me to change it. So I've just reduced every gear in the whole gearbox by doing that. So we're in first. So it might actually not even have anything to do with the gear ratios. It could have something to do with the way the PID's controlling here. Where's PID? Because it could just be stalling out, because I had, this was built for a car that had no frame on it. It was very light, and so now it's heavier. I did have, so the, actually, you know what? So it's a number of things. It's two things primarily. One, let's update this. Let's save it, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So this is like I was talking before, somebody will say, hey, what gear ratios should I put in my vehicle? And they expect one answer, like, oh, just do this magic number and it will work. That's not how it works. A truck needs a different gearbox than a car. A heavy car needs a different gearbox than a light car. A motorcycle needs a different gearbox than, a car. And it's mostly dependent upon the weight. You need to get all that heft, all that weight, all that mass moving, and that requires a lot of torque. And so the heavier a vehicle, the more torque you need to get it moving. The lighter the vehicle, the less torque you need to get it moving. And so these are all things to consider. So like if I look at the basic car I just that I made this, that I took the what do you call it, from this microcontroller. If we look at it here, it doesn't have a flywheel too, but you notice it doesn't weigh much. It weighs 178. Now let's look at our car. What's this weigh? 520, 525. So, about 3 times as much. So this weighs 3 times as much. It's going to need 3 times as much torque to get this sucker moving. And the other thing it could have been, but it's not, the other thing I was checking was, does it have a flywheel? It needs a different p-value on the PID generally if it has a flywheel. Oh, come on. Let's get in here and let's play with the p-value here on this. So it's 0.2. So let's see. That's 2 times 15, clamped at 5 to 15. That should be all good. That's number 1. Expression, what's that? Okay, so if 1 is not on, okay, so 1 releases my parking brake, which is what I've been using. So that's good. There's the clutch. I'm just checking these numbers out, see what these are doing here. My clutch is not, I don't think my clutch is really in the best shape. I think my clutch could be it here. So if 2 is greater than 0 and that is greater than, okay, so we're idling at 5, but I'm asking for it to give me there. Could be a clutch issue. Try that for now. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna let it clutch up. I'm gonna get the revs up higher, giving me more torque before it adds clutch. So let's try that. Okay, I'm hitting the wrong button to try to bring the gear up. Alright, so I think it's a clutch issue. That would make the most sense to me. So I think the clutch is coming in too fast. So let's actually get rid of that. That's fine. If it's greater than 5 is fine, but what the issue is here is probably this increment is too fast for the clutch. So let's try half of that and see if this improves. If it improves, that's going to put the clutch in slower. Okay, I need to put it in gear again. All right, so let's try to reduce that some more. Let me do this too. Let me put a dial on here. All right, let's stick a dial right on the dash where I can see it. Let's hook it up to electricity here. And I want to see what the clutch is doing. The clutch is likely the culprit here. And again, like I was talking about, you really have to tune. You have to tune transmission to each vehicle. That's why in real life, different vehicles have different transmissions. Some share them, but they have to have similar characteristics. They have to be similar masses. You can't take a tiny little compact car transmission and expect it to work well in a big truck. It's just not going to work. So let's go gear up. All right, let's start increasing. All right, so it is stalling. All right, so let's check the zeroing function on this. So I have it zeroing out the clutch. So let's see. Let's get rid of this for now. Let's actually go back to where it was. Okay. I'm going to shut all the brakes off. I want to make sure all the brakes are off. Anything that's would cause an absolute ton of load. Having the brakes on, of course, is going to create a huge amount of load. If I can see, the problem is with these tires, I have to go all the way here to the axles to be able to read them. But the car is rolling, so I know the brakes are off. So, okay. Okay. So let's see what the... Okay. So it's still zeroing out the... Check what the clutch is doing here. So there's the clutch here. So if that is greater than 0, okay, so this right here, so the way the auto clutch is working is this is that's if I'm pressing the W key. So that's as though I'm pressing down on the accelerator. And so if I'm pressing down on the accelerator and the RPS is greater than 5, so when I press the accelerator, two things happen. One, it increases the RPS to the engine. Two, it will trigger the clutch to start engaging. So not only am I revving the engine, I'm also giving it some clutch. If it dips below, so what happens in real life, if you start to stall your vehicle, you start to push the clutch back in, and it will reduce the load and it will keep it from stalling. So you can save it from stalling doing that. What is this down here is what I want to know. So here's the, okay, that's what it is. So if it's 0, it's going to clutch out. It's going to make sure there's no clutch engagement. Let's try that again. So let's see. Okay, so this is just, it will reset this if the starter goes off. I think the starter is kicking in too early. Where is that? So that is, if it's less than 3, let's try something here. That should work though. I'm trying to see what this is. 0 to 1.00. Let's go. Done this 1,000 times. I'm curious why it's misbehaving. So that's 0.01. So let's do 0.8. So just a little bit slower on the clutch. I'm trying to see why this is causing me problems here. Could be a p-value issue. It probably could use, it really could use a flywheel, but that could be helpful. All right, let's do this here while we're at it. All right, let's just down gear it a bunch and see where we get. Because that should also fix it if I just down gear. Again, what that's going to do is that's going to have it require, that's going to give us even more torque. So right now, where's that? That is the reverse gear. So 3-2, let's go up to a 2-1. So I'll check the chart here. All right, so now, I'll tell you what it is once I enter them all in here. All right, so what that does is that now gives us a 8 to 1 gear ratio to start, and then a 6 to 1, a 4 to 1, a 2 to 1, a 1.3 to 1. All right, so let's try that. Again, this is giving us more torque. Let me just double check to make sure these are all facing the correct direction. So these should be, up, they're backwards. Never mind, I screwed up. Okay, I screwed way up. All right. So I think we were probably fine the way we were. Okay, this is not a big deal. I can fix this. So this was the problem. Notice which way these are pointing. These are pointing towards the engine. They should be pointing the opposite direction. So I have most of them backwards. So that's not a big deal. I can flip these. I'm gonna just do them in order so that I can fix them 3-1. That one's fine. This one here can go back to a 1-1. This one's fine. Really simple here. I screwed up because, I wasn't paying attention which way the arrows are going. So that is all that it was, I believe. So what I was doing is up gearing when I meant to be down gearing. And that was just because I had these, what was that? This one was correct. Okay, so the bottom set was correct. This top set was wrong. These were backwards. These two gearboxes, I bet you were causing all my problems. Because, so I could have figured that out in the easiest way by putting an RPS gauge on the drive shaft, and it would have told me what was going on. Okay. Okay, I need to put it in gear. See, that was all it was. So I was up gearing it really badly. I was wondering why I was struggling with this. So I was up gearing this, and instead of down gearing it, and that was just me forgetting. All right, so 2 things I need to do on this. Let's bring this back to the workbench, and we'll finish up. So this is getting, this is actually coming along nicely. I was wondering why this was all screwed up, because I'm like, there's no way this the thing that hit it in my head was an 8 to 1 gear ratio is what a medium-sized box truck uses. More like a 4 to 1 is what a car is using. And I'm like, I got up to 8 to 1. I'm like, there is no way this car needs an 8 to 1 gear ratio. And that told me, I'm like, I need to look at this again. All right, so let's see. What do I need to do now? So let's change some stuff here. So this is going to be, where are we at here? I have so this gear indicator here, which I'm going to get rid of because I'm driving this, so I don't need a gear indicator. I can tell by the speed. So gear indicator is going to go in there. That's just going to read me what gear I'm in. I need a linear in here, linear speed. That is going to read out the speed to me, and then I just want another dial, and I'll do it in meters per second for now, and then I'll convert these later. 2 miles per hour. All right, good. Let's go now. So bottom gauge is going to read out what gear I'm in. Top gauge will read out the speed. All right, so I'm going to go, let's turn the key on. 1 for brake, 6 for engine start. I'm going to go into first gear, which that should read first. It does. This was reading 0. Let's start driving. All right, so about double it. You know, it's 2.7. What is it? 2 miles an hour. 2.78. I think it's 2.78. So that's about 20 miles an hour in first gear. Let's go to second gear. Second gear is now something like 26. That's like 40. And what's that, third gear? And so now we're getting into higher gears. They take longer to speed up, but they're longer, and we'll stay in them longer. So that is, you know, 70. So this should actually probably be down geared just a hair. That last gear, let me see what gear I'm in here. Am I in fourth or fifth? Fourth gear, so I'm not even in fifth gear yet. So you can hear the engine just scream and act the fool. Oh, no, I downshifted accidentally. Okay, so fifth gear is behaving itself. What's fifth gear give me? 60. Let me check that really quick. So check this out. It is, let's see, meters per second to mph. We're doing 38. So we're doing 85. So something is wrong with fourth gear. I need to fix fourth gear. So right now, if you look, we get up to about, 85 miles an hour in fifth gear, which is good. The issue here is, look at fourth gear. Fourth gear is going, we're hitting 48. So 48's unreasonable. 48's 107. So something screwed up with fourth and fifth gear are screwy. So let me go ahead and check those, and I'll see what's up with them. So let's go grab this back. If I can figure out what buttons to press. So fourth and fifth gear are screwed up. They need to come down a little bit. They need to be down geared some. Because 107's ridiculous. And you see how it took a long time to get up to speed? That's fine, but when we were going into fourth gear, that's because it's too long of a gear. And so I need something screwed up. I need to consult both the gear sheet and that. So let's see. So let me see. So third gear is, okay, I need to relook at what I fixed here. So I fixed some of this. I need to look at it again. Let me make sure these are all pointing the correct direction again. So it should be, if I figure out where the hell I'm in the build. So this should be away, away, away towards the engine. So that's correct. Okay, so this is now, that's a 3 to 1, 2 to 1. This is my reverse gear, okay? And that is the opposite direction. So I need to just fix the chart up so that it works. So third gear should now be 1 to 1s all the way through. Yep, should be all the way through. So it just take me a quick sec to fix these on my chart so I know what I'm working with here. Because if I screw something up on the chart, it's pain. Okay, so let's see. So what it should be is a 4 to 1, a 3 to 1, a 2 to 1, a 1 to 1, and then a 0.66. So 5 should definitely be faster than 4. So 4 needs to be down geared some. So I need to down gear 4 some. Let's see. So let's try let's do a 2 to 1. Let's try, was it 2, 3 maybe? Okay, so if I do a 2 to 1 and a 2, 3 on 4th gear, that gives me a 1.33. So that should help that a little bit. So I just need to also add 4th gear to that. And then what I'm going to do is 5th gear is now going to be a 2 to 1, 1 to 1. Nope, can't do that. That's going to be my 1 to 1 gear. Okay, so that's my 1 to 1 gear. So let's go back in and take my word for it in the chart. I won't bore you with the chart again. So we're going to change some of these up. So let's see. First gear should be on at 1 and 2. It is 1 and 2. Okay, good. Second gear should be on at 1 and 3. 1 and 3. That's correct. Okay, good. Third gear. Third gear should be. Third gear should just be going to gear 2. Third gear is going to gear 2. That's good. Fourth should be gear 2 now. Okay, so fourth should also trigger gear 2. Let me check that. Okay, so this was the issue. Fourth gear, I think, was maybe a problem child. Okay. And then, okay, I screwed fourth up. That would be why fourth was being crazy. Nope, hold on. I'm trying to figure this out. Okay, yep, that's fine. Fourth gear should be, gear 2 should be triggered, and gear 4 should be triggered. So gear 2 and gear 4 should be triggered on fourth gear. Okay, I see this. I have 2 fourths here. This is why I was screwed up. That's another reason why I screwed up. I never changed this to 5th. This should be 5. Okay. And let's see where 5 is. 5 should be a 1s. So 5 is now the disconnected one. All right, so let's try that now. All right. Put it in gear. Now, I've talked about before why I like a manual transmission. So my gearbox is rev limited to 15 RPS. Well, 15 RPS with a, let's see, what is first gear? First gear is a, let me move my chart so I can actually see it. First gear is a 4 to 1 gear ratio. So if I'm doing 15 and I'm doing a reduction of 4, it would be, 15 divided by 4. So I'll just get you a number there. So that's 3.75. So that's 3.75 RPS going out to my wheel. So if we look at our speed, I have it floored. Never going to go faster than 10.45 in this gear unless we roll down a hill and lower resistance. Let's go up a gear. All right, so we're now up to 13 meters per second. All right. I could put a clutch blipper on this if I wanted to. Let's go up a gear. So we're in third gear. As you see, we're up to 20, so we're up to 60 miles an hour. Let's kick it up a gear. The fourth gear. Now we're up to 60, a little over 60. Let's go into fifth. And there we go. And so, see, we're doing 68 now. So this is a more reasonable speed. I don't want to be going nuts. So this is working well. I might put a blipper on there to blip the clutch. I do need to put on a steering limiter. As you can see, I can steer too much at this high speed, so I need to decrease the steering. So this needs a steering limiter, but this is going to be a fun little car. Finish it up. But this will be a good way for me to stop having to teleport places. I should be able to go 68 miles an hour places. This does not have grip tires, as you can see. May grip the tires, I may not. I like the ability that I actually have to manually drive this. Gives me something to do. It cuts the boredom down. So this is functioning well. So this car is going well. The only thing is that, like I said, it needs to have a it needs to have some paint. It needs to have a couple things done here and there, but it is pretty much good to go, and we can use this car. So a little bit of transmission work on there helped it out. Might put a little bit of grip on the tires. So currently, let's try this here. We'll end in a moment. I don't think I've gripped these tires up. They are max gripped. Okay, so I could double grip. Let's do that really quick. So let's go 99, 99, 99. Now remember, when you upgrip the tires with XML, you're increasing the load. Now, normally, one of the reasons why I think the devs did this is so that people install the cars all the time. If you do proper gearing and you configure gears right, you won't stall anyways. You just have to change things, and a lot of people, again, are confused by this. So let's go high speeds on here. And so I'm going to set these tires. I had yet to set these up. So let's set them up to high speeds. And so I want to do this because I don't want to make changes, then XML them. So they're all, let me make sure these are all gripped to 99. So the reason I do 99 is it's easy to find it in the XML. You can put whatever number you want, but 99 is just easy to find. Okay, and we don't want to click on those again. So let's go ahead and save this as new car, and I'll go in the XML and I'll show you that. All right, so we're in the XML here, so I'm just going to do Control F, and I want to do 0.99, find next. All right, so as you can see here, we got a 0.99. That's because that's why I use 99. It's just easy to find. And I'm going to copy grip factor 0.99. Control C that. Now I'm going to go replace. I want to put the top one 0.99. And I'm going to change them. We're just going to do 2. We're not going to go extreme on these. 2. Because I figure that the tires are about half as grippy as they should be IRL. Replace all. As you can see, all 2s now. And we're going to save it. And we'll go back into game. All right, so let's go ahead and we need to reload that save. All right, so now the tires are gripped up to 2s, so we should have less of a chance of breaking free here. Now, we may stall because we're adding extra load. But we're going to be grippier, less slippiness here. So let's check our speed now. Speed's pretty close to what it was. Now, the reason why it jumps like that is I don't blip the throttle. Now, in real life, when I drive a tractor trailer, I do not use the clutch to shift gears. I manually match them. And also with trucks, the gear ratios are very close to each other. So for example, here, let me just kill the sound so you don't have to listen to it. I'll bring the silly chart back in. All right, so if you look at the chart on this, it goes a 4-to-1 to a 3-to-1 to a 2-to-1 to a 1.33-to-1 to a 1-to-1. That's the range. So we're going from a 4-to-1. Now let's look at the 18-speed transmission here. It goes from a 14 to a 4. I'm sorry, 14. Where am I actually? Right here. So 15 to a 12 to a 10 to an 8 to a 6 to a 5. So these are actually stepping down. See, this goes to a 5 to a 4.16, a 4.16 to a 3.6. So see, these are less than, these are very small changes. Look, that's a 3.6 to a 3.24, a 3.24 to a 3, a 3 to a 2.4, a 2.4 to a 2. These are making like 0.4 changes. This one's a 0.24 change. It goes to a 1.66, a 1.33. That's only a 0.33 change. And that's a what was that? 0.13 change. So those are very small changes, and so you don't have to worry about because the gear ratios are so small, you don't need the clutch because they're so tiny, the actual speed changes are very small. So that's why I don't need a clutch on a tractor. Now, I don't really need the clutch in this car either, but a blipper would help. So essentially what it does is when I shift gears, what it would do is it would interrupt the clutch and it would give it a 0. So you have these things in motorcycles called auto blippers, which I don't like any automatic stuff, but it's essentially what it's doing is it interrupts the firing of the engine for a second. So it allows you to do clutchless shifts because it unloads the box. And so that's what I do. I do that manually with my accelerator in a tractor, and in a car, you'll often, that's why you use the clutch when you shift gears. But liking this car a lot. I hope you guys are enjoying this. This will be kind of a neat little thing. You see how we were almost to the oil rig very quickly, so this will be nice and fast. What's our top speed here? We in 5. We're not even in 5th gear here. Let's go in 5th gear. So let's get up to max speed here. We're just going to go in a straight line here. So that's 42, so we're talking 80-something miles an hour here. So that's 93 miles an hour. That's more than enough speed, and you can see I can still turn, and I'm not spinning all out. If I do a really extreme turn, I can probably get us to spin, as you can see. But working really well, and that was damage on the whole time, and I didn't damage anything. So I'm really pleased with this car. I hope you guys enjoyed kind of watching me work on this. I'll probably just finish this up. It's mostly detailing now, some panel work, some stuff, but this will give me something fun and cool to kind of drive around with and give us a little bit of a fun transpo. We can do some missions in this. So, hope you guys enjoy that. See you in the next one.